everyone, welcome back. My name's Chess, this is Bandit, and welcome to the Scapegoat Club. So today I wanted to talk about a subject which I'm actually really fascinated in, but hopefully it doesn't sound too boring to you guys. I want to talk about sleep, and it is something that I have struggled with, had a really extreme relationship with my whole life, and I realize it's been very, very intertwined with my experience in my narcissistic family. And I'm finishing reading a book, really interesting. Hopefully you can read that. It's called Why We Sleep. It's by Matthew Walker, and it's just really got me thinking. So I wanted to talk about sleep today. So I don't know what your experience is with sleep, but I have really struggled with insomnia for as long as I can remember. And I have anxiety around trying to get to sleep, waking up. I don't have a very healthy sleep routine. I say I don't. Actually, what I found is when I went through the whole big breakup with my family, initially my sleep reverted back to being really, really difficult and very fragmented. I would wake up a lot. I would find I was resting and I was pretty stressed about sleeping. But then towards the later part of this kind of breakup cycle, when I feel like I'm moving on and things are getting better, I'm found that I'm just sleeping so much. It's almost like my body is just wants to make up for lost time. And I never really thought that was a problem, and then I just happened to be watching a medical show, something completely different, and I heard it mentioned that if you sleep more than 9 hours a night, that's not normal, and that's medically problematic. And if I hadn't heard that, I would not have known. And so then I really started thinking, because I can easily sleep 10 to 11 hours a night without a problem. And so this just got me really thinking. And anyway, reading this book, super interesting. So I'm not going to go into everything that he says, because there's a lot of information in it. It's really interesting. I also don't want to misrepresent anything that he said. So any errors, my errors, not the book. I should also say that I think that it is a reasonably robust book to read. Matthew Walker is, if I read the back here, Professor of Neuroscience and Psychology at the University of California, Berkeley. I don't know how to say that. Am I saying that right? Berkeley? Sorry, California. I should know that, I guess, but I don't. He is the director of its Sleep and Neuroimaging Lab, and he's a former professor of psychiatry at Harvard. So I'm saying he knows his stuff. So one of the things he said, which I've really realized over the last, I always thought sleep was important, but according to this book, sleep is like the foundational level of being a healthy person. It's more important than diet, exercise, and relationships. I'm maybe paraphrasing him a little bit, but his words are, sleep underpins everything. And so according to the book, if we don't sleep, it disrupts everything. And he goes on to, there's different types of sleep, and how when different types are disrupted, different things happen. But basically, without healthy sleep, our whole systems, mental, physical, emotional, are at risk. And so some of the problems that we can have without getting effective sleep are things like cardiovascular, you're more at risk of having heart attacks, digestive problems, cancers. Mentally, you don't concentrate, you get memory loss. Learning is really affected by it, and the ability to process emotions. We have less energy if we don't sleep, and that affects our ability to perform exercise-wise, or like physically. We can't work out as hard in the gym, or if you're a professional athlete or you work in a physical field, then fatigue will come into it more strongly. Things like drowsy driving. The statistics in this book about how many accidents are caused by drowsy driving are quite scary. And another thing that sleep does is actually affects what you eat. So if you don't sleep well, then your body starts to crave more sugary and quick fix, high energy foods, and you're less likely to feel full as well. So you overeat more. So it seems, again, the way he's talking about it, sleep is not a kind of a byproduct, something we do just, at night. It actually seems to underpin, seems that sleep is actually probably more important to us in terms of being healthy as an overall beings than being awake is. Not to say that you don't be awake, there's a balance. There's the happy medium of 7 to 9 hours is the healthy window of what adults need to sleep, and any less is very detrimental to our health. So sleep can obviously be disrupted for a many number of factors, but one of the key ones, and one that I think that's affected me most of my life, is the stress and anxiety aspect. When you're stressed, all the chemicals go off in your brain. Basically, when you're wired, you just can't shut down and sleep. And when that happens chronically, so a lot over a long period of time, your brain almost gets kind of damaged in a way, and it becomes a chronic problem and insomnia when you just can't sleep all the time. Also, what I found was really interesting was he talks a little bit about PTSD. And so I found that I actually have PTSD related to my family situation, which is really interesting. And the way I found out was because one of the key symptoms of PTSD is nightmares and recurring nightmares. And that's something that I've had on and off for as long as I can remember. So back to the book, he talks about PTSD. Well, there's a couple of kind of links between PTSD and sleep. The first one being with PTSD, or there's a lot of stress involved, and so that cuts down your ability to have deep and restful sleep. And the other thing is that you get these recurring nightmares, and they happen in this kind of two different types of sleep, broadly speaking, and it happens in the rapid eye movement part of sleep is when you dream. And the rapid eye movement part of sleep seems to be involved a lot in processing emotions. And I believe that when you have PTSD, you get stuck in the emotion of the situation, and if your brain can't compute that at the time, then it kind of becomes this problematic memory, traumatic, and then you just get stuck in this kind of Groundhog Day of replaying that traumatic event, or in the case of childhood PTSD, it's not one event, it's multiple. And so you just get stuck in these kind of places in your brain, and you can't move on. And so what I found really interesting about this book is it made a lot of sense in terms of me understanding what my nightmares are all about, and that I'm processing these particular periods or memories or maybe that's not even right. I'm still processing these things that I haven't been able to process before in the past. And so, coming back to my experience again, I found that I've struggled with this insomnia for so long, again, because I was always so stressed. And then when I found out what was going on, and then I tried to extract myself from my family, the stress increased, ramped up for quite a period of time, and then my stress I was almost being re-traumatized because of the situation. Then slowly moved through that, and I found that when the stress decreased and I could sleep, I was just sleeping all the time and dreaming, and it was almost like the dreaming, I felt like my dreams were just my brain going almost into overdrive, going, I've got so much I have to process, and it was emotionally exhausting. And like I said, I couldn't sleep, or I was sleeping up to 10, 11 hours a night, and even then still just not waking up exhausted, but feeling like I could sleep more. So I thought, well, have I got something else going on? Is it chronic fatigue? Is it something else? So I've had blood tests and things like that. There's, touch wood, there's nothing else going on that they know of. And I don't have any other symptoms for anything else. But what's really interesting, and this is what I've found, and this is really, really new, this is kind of hot off the press. For those of you that watch my videos regularly, you'll see that in my last video I posted that I've pretty much come to the end of my tolerance for my family situation. And I've made the very difficult decision that I need to draw a line under it and basically stop communicating with my family. I am done. I am out. And it's a hard and sad decision to make. But you know what? I feel like a weight has been lifted in a way, and it comes and goes, but overall I just feel like I'm starting to kind of rise up off when the heavy load. I'm starting to kind of, resurface slowly. I haven't just bobbed straight back up onto the surface and like, woohoo, here I am. But slowly I'm kind of coming back to equilibrium, and that this is just blowing my mind right now. Since making that decision, I haven't had the dreams. I haven't had those really intense emotional dreams. I've had dreams and I've slept really well, and I know I've dreamed. I know I have been dreaming, but I've been dreaming about other stuff, the random weird stuff where you're walking down the road and suddenly a beaver pops up, and then the next minute you're transported to your friend's house and then they tell you that they're carving jelly. Just those dreams, not these perpetual traumatic family or other relationship dreams. They stopped, and just for a couple of nights I slept for 9 hours and I've woken up and I felt good. I also feel a lot more connected to myself and what I need emotionally, physically, mentally, going through the therapy and having extracted myself from this narcissistic relationship where I was basically trying to please other people. I'm now really tuned into what I want and what I need, and knowing what I know about sleep now and looking at what's happening, I just feel like subconsciously as well as consciously making that decision to just back away from the family and you know, just close the door and step away from the dance, I feel like my body is saying, and thank you, finally saying thank you, Chess. This is what I need. It's good. It's hard, but it's good. So that's it for me today. Again, the book is called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. And thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being a part of the discussion and a part of the online group. Drop me a line, say hi, let me know what your sleep patterns are, and whether you think you've seen any differences before, during, after a narcissistic relationship. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will be back really soon. Take care, lots of love, sleep well everybody, bye.